And like that, they're off. Welcome to this preliminary round-robin match between Zigouigoui and meowmixmix. I just realized I should have the moss ranking stuff up. So this is, of course, a preliminary round-robin race. Kings for the later runs in the overall ASO race. Paired, I'd be able to tell you which group they're in. Wouldn't that be nice? So, right now they're going through the tutorial, and they're taking a bit of a different strategy between them. Meow, on his way into 0-3, a little bit ahead. I'm sorry for missing some of the early stuff. Oh, Meow messing up the bomb, having to go the long way around. I'm just getting my resources up here. There we go. And because of that bit of delay, Zigouigoui is the first into the mines. And of course, for anyone who's not aware of how these races work, they will first have to get one bomb, then one rope, and then 10,000 gold delivered to the tunnel man at the end of the mines. In that order on separate runs. Once that happens, they will unlock the jungle shortcut and be able to continue from that to unlock the ice cave shortcut, and so on and so forth. The reason for using the shortcuts is to shorten the amount of time that's required to unlock the next one, because this is, of course, a race. Possible is absolutely, positively ideal. Gonna get some cards up here to show some stats. Zigouigoui, 34th overall on Moss ranking. His ASO is a little bit under 30 minutes. And that's the only run he has submitted, presumably for the purpose of getting ready for this race. meowmixmix, who lives unsettlingly close to the location of AGDQ for my taste. Overall, with a 5th best time for ASO overall of about 17 minutes, which is pretty good. Certainly better than what I have. So I look forward to these two being able to put on a pretty good race between them. So right now they're both on the rope split. Meow is a couple levels ahead. Somewhere there's a thing. Can't find it. This is a Group G race, the Moss ranking stream tells me. Now making the rope delivery. So he is well on his way, taking the lead. He's now on 10,000 gold. And there are a couple ways to do this split. You can either collect your 10,000 gold immediately, about it, or you can take your time and just get gold as you come by it, because usually there will be enough gold on the path just to support it. And we see here Meow taking a more casual approach to it, and there happened to be 4,300 gold on the way through level 1-1. So rushing to get the gold, not necessarily the best idea. It is the most reliable because you know you have it early. But the odds are you'll be able to get enough along the way anyway, and you'll just end up with a whole bunch of extra gold at the end. Zigouigoui going down on the rope split, having to restart it. That's always unfortunate. And he was pretty close to the end as well. I believe he was on 1-3 or 1-4 when it happened. You can see from the timer in the bottom right of his screen on the left, so toward the middle, but on the left side of the middle in the bottom right of that particular racer's screen, because that's not confusing at all, that he has done this split faster before. The red means that he is over his personal best time, or the time he got on his personal best overall run at any rate. But there's still plenty of time for him to catch up, so you don't have to worry at all about this automatically being in Meow's hands, or paws, as the case may be, because this is a race. There's still a lot of Spelunky to come. Meow, of course, now on the 2 bomb split. Finishes this split, he will reset for the jungle because it's just faster, and he's narrowly avoiding that boomerang. The back whip is real. And he is on his way into 2-3. Zigouigoui, meanwhile, going shortcutting through 1-4, so he will make his rope delivery and get onto the 10,000 gold himself. So he is a split and a half behind, roughly. But as I am fond of saying, this is Spelunky. You never know who's going to throw. This is still anyone's match until one of them is on Olmec and the other is not. Eventually. And even then, the Olmec spawns are real. Meow having to take his time through 2-4 because it's being a bit of a pain, but getting through relatively unscathed. And now we're going to see him reset and head directly to the jungle shortcut, where he will pick up with the next deliverable of 2 ropes. Zigouigoui taking a bit of damage, going to avoid those spikes at the bottom of 1-2. And he again already at 7,000 gold through 1-2, so collecting 10,000 gold in the mines, really not that much of a problem. Meow choosing not to kill the bat. Bat? Some call vampires bats. Meow choosing not to kill the vampire to get the cape. Which means automatically he's forfeiting the win, we all know that. Bombing his way into the exit of 2-2. Meanwhile, Zigouigoui has collected his 10,000 gold already, so all he has to do is get to the end of this level without dying horribly on spikes, because Spelunky. And he will also be on his jungle deliverables. Meow making good use of his bombs to get through 2-3 on the 2-rope deliverable. Lead, but it's Spelunky, so that doesn't actually mean this game is, let's say, unique. Meow making the 2-rope delivery. I'm going to reset now for the shotgun, which is the first sort of randomly inaccessible deliverable that this run has. Because it's possible to just not get a shop in the jungle, in which case he has to go all the way through and accomplish very, very little. It's possible to get a shop, get aggro, terrible things happen to you. But he got lucky, got a shop at the end of 2-1, and the cape. Victory is guaranteed now, at least on this split, because cape. Had he not gotten any shops, he would still have maybe been able to get a shotgun on a Dead Restless spawn. Back market, as Zigouigoui just did, though I'm not sure it's really time-saving to go through it in this case. Always shotguns in there, because there's shopkeepers everywhere. And there we see Meow going down on 2-2 on the shotgun split to exit aggro. And of course, every time that Meow takes a hit, takes a death, time being made up by Zigouigoui. So like I said, this run still anyone's. Meow able to get a shotgun from a distracted shopkeeper over there now, so he is back on track. He's still a couple splits ahead, so he still has quite a lead. But Spelunky can happen, as it so often does. He's able to maintain it. We now see Zigouigoui successful on the 2 bomb split, so he's starting the 2 rope split. Now only slightly more than a single deliverable behind. So he's making up ground very nicely. He's green on this split, so he's actually ahead of his previous PB's split for this. Time for this split, rather. He is not at all far behind his usual, or best, I suppose, pace. Now Meow has to deal with these tiki traps, which is always a fun time. Hung up on one of them at the exit, and Meow is down once again, having to restart the split. Which again allows Zigouigoui to catch up even more. He is now less than a split behind, because he is about to exit 2-3 rather, to enter 2-4 on the 2 rope split, while Meow is restarting now on 2-2 for the shotgun split yet again. Zigouigoui making some good use of a rope there to make sure he can safely make it to the exit, but he's down now only to 1 heart. So if he takes a hit on this level, that will be it for this split. He'll have to restart the split again. Now Meow happens to find Dead Are Restless and bees, and the level is blocked off with the bees. Zigouigoui on 2-3, still looking for his, finds Specs, which could in theory help him find one in the crust. But he's really hoping for a shop somewhere on 2-4. Meow, down to the exit keeper once again on 2-3. He has to reset. Zigouigoui is, in theory, ahead? But if there's no shop on 2-4, he'll also be back to the beginning. Chub Scout, still alive, still hasn't murdered anybody. So that's good. And there is a shop for Zigouigoui. If he can get this shop robbery done well, that will have him firmly ahead. So he's using the safe robbery strat, because the question now is, can he place the bomb without aggroing the shopkeeper? Bit of blue frog action going on there. The robbery is done. He will have his shotgun in just a moment. Take the split and get out ahead. Meow, somehow still alive and then no longer alive. Beginning of this split, Zigouigoui completing the shotgun split, putting himself firmly ahead, and just like that, Zigouigoui has come from several splits behind to take the lead. He is now going for the double delivery with bombs, and hopefully that's going to work out for him. If it doesn't, he will reset into the now open Ice Caves shortcut to make it faster to get back there. Exit Keeper managed to kill himself somehow for him, so he is now into 3-2. He's got a lot of bombs, but no ropes, so if he ends up on the wrong side of the level, he may be in trouble, and it looks like he may be there now. But there's a path, so he should be okay. Able to dodge the shopkeeper into the exit on 3-2. He is but not finding shopkeepers, that will definitely work against him. Zigouigoui making the 3-bomb delivery in the Ice Caves, so he's now going to reset and go to the Ice Cave shortcut. Or if he's feeling extra saucy, he can go to the mines entrance and go for a triple delivery that way with the key. Two, he's doing the Ice Cave shortcut, so he's going to stay here for the 3-rope delivery. And then once he makes that, he will be resetting into the mines for the key split. Meow has found a shotgun once again on 2-2. So he's making his way through the jungle, hoping not to get nabbed by an exit keeper. As Zigouigoui takes the safe route down on 3-2. So the reason that he took his time there is because he wasn't sure whether the drop was going to be safe. Now there is a really quick way to determine this that Zigouigoui may not be aware of or may have forgotten in the heat of the moment, because when you're actually racing, it's a lot easier to forget things in the heat of the moment. If you are on the ground or you are hanging off a ledge and you look down and the tile that you want to land on is entirely on screen, then you can land there safely without taking damage. If you are on a tree branch looking down, you have some extra tiles to work with. I believe someone told me that you get 3 tiles, the dark level unfortunately being Meow's downfall over there at the end of 2-4. That was the end of the shotgun split. But as I was saying, when you're looking down from a tree branch, you get some extra tiles to work with because you don't have to accelerate anymore to get to the maximum fall speed. You get there immediately. It looks like Meow has gone dark. Is him rage quitting the race, or if he is just having stream problems? But right now, he is 3 splits behind if he is still going to be racing. Zigouigoui is onto the key split. We're getting confirmation that Meow has rage quit from the bad shotgun split he was having. So this race will go to Zigouigoui. He is now continuing to get a time on board for how long it took. If he can PB on this, all the more power to him. He's going through 1-2. He's looking for the key. It'll be somewhere in 1-2 or 1-3 or 1-4. And this split involves taking the key and getting all the way through the ice caves with it to give it to Tunnel Man. It is one of the hardest splits, technically, in this race. In fact, it's probably the hardest race. Hardest split, rather. Because it's possible to just not find it. And then even when you do find it, you'll sometimes be in situations where you just aren't able to hold on to it. And you have to figure out some way to get it back, or you lose it into the abyss. There are a lot of ways for this split to go wrong. And right now it looks like Zigouigoui might be encountering one of those, which is the key is just in a place that's difficult to find. Now he has paste bombs, so he can bomb through to get to the left side if he needs to. It looks like it's going to be buried somewhere in there. I don't know if that's the route I would be taking in his position. He could have gotten up there with one bomb from below. But if the key is up there and it works out, then it would all be worth it. But it looks like he may have to reset to an inaccessible key location if this goes on much longer. He's now down to 1 bomb and 1 rope and 2 health, which is certainly an unfortunate position to be in. However, since this is also the longest split, he will be able to take his time and regain his resources, regain his health, which he's now down to 1 on. It looks like he's trying to buy some bombs and not being able to find the money to do it. That key was not making itself easy to find at all, so it may just be better overall for him right now to reset in the first place. It was just in a really bad place. Saturnin is saying in chat that it was behind the shop, which would absolutely make it just really unfortunate. So he is resetting now into 1-2. In his position, if he knows that he is now the only racer still here, I would recommend collecting money so he can buy resources from the shop easier on him. The more bombs and ropes he can find, the more passive items he can get, the easier this split will be, and the more likely he'll be able to continue from the key split directly into the Olmec fight. No key on 1-2 for him, so he's now on to 1-3. Down there, it looks like. And he is now collecting some money so he can start buying resources. Looks like the key is not going to be on this level, so it's going to be a 1-4 key, most likely. Unless it's just really well hidden down here. And it is. It's well hidden somewhere. Below the exit, I saw it. So if he can get down to that level and take a look, he'll notice it. I only saw it because I was specifically looking for it down there. Is on this level. At this point, it's just a matter of locating it. Unfortunately, it looks like he did not glimpse it below the exit. So he's going to do some traversing of the level here before it. In a normal race, this would be an unfortunate time loss, but as he's now the only person left in it, it's just being cautious, being careful. He's hesitant to go down there, and now he sees it. He was hesitant to go down because there was a chance he'd be able to get down and then not get back up. And that would have put him in a very unfortunate position. But he now has the key, he's on to 1-4, and he is making his way through with the key. Now he also collected a bunch of money, so I expect we'll see him buying items from the shop to help him out here. He has plenty of ropes, but he only has 3 bombs. And he may want more, especially if he's going to go for the Olmec fight on this split as well. He's made it into the jungle. Taking his time with that man trap. Now, for anyone who hasn't done ASO before, you have to get the key all the way through, but there's nothing that says you have to continue holding it the whole time. So he is fine with putting it down so he can whip. He can throw it at things as a weapon. It's a heavy item, it does damage. The one thing he has to be really careful about as far as letting go of the key is he does not want to lose it into the abyss, because if that happens, then he will have to start all over again. Burning a rope to get through that tiki trap safely. He could have made the jump. He opted not to. It is safer in this case to use the resource. Into 2-3. I'm sure he's hoping to find a shop somewhere around here so we can buy some bombs. Because 2 is really not a lot of bombs for this split. Since you have to carry the key, you cannot carry a weapon. You can pick one up and use it, but you're going to have to put it back down again. So being able to bomb through levels, bomb enemies from above, especially if you're able to collect paste, is really, really useful. A tiki village to deal with. And it looks like he is going to make sure to kill this caveman before doing anything with the tiki trap. He's actually bombing his way through. So he may not be comfortable with the tiki trap jumps, which is fine. Not everyone is. But if he uses this bomb, he'll be down to 0, and that is now his last bomb. So he either needs to find bombs to continue on this split, and there he is tossing the key around. He either needs to find bombs, or he's going to need to do the rest of this split without them, which will likely see him resetting afterwards, so he can do a 4-bomb fight in Olmec. He's now into the ice caves. So he's 2/3 of the way through for the key split. And it looks like he's on the wrong side of the level for the exit. Nope, he's on the right side. So that's very fortunate for him. He knows well enough not to chuck the key to kill that Yeti. That UFO is going to cause him some problems, though. But he dodges it, uses rope to get up so he can jump on the Yeti. And he is now through to 3-2. Now, I mentioned that he correctly didn't chuck the key off to the left to deal with anything. It turns out that it would have worked out because there was terrain there. But there could just as easily have not been. And if he had thrown that blind and it went into the abyss, then we may have seen 2 rage quits on this race, with Zigouigoui winning by technicality for having lasted longer in it. 3-3, proving a very quick level. Doesn't have to worry about anything there. And he is now on to 3-4. All he has to do is get to the bottom without dying, and he will have completed this split. He could also take the mothership exit if he were so inclined. And there's his shop, and it has some bombs. It looks like he's going to make the delivery and just reset in the temple, though. Which is a perfectly viable strategy. It's actually possible to do this run without ever using the Ice Cave's exit. You can either do a triple delivery from the jungle, which puts you directly on the key split, or you can do a double delivery in the jungle and then restart in the mines to do 3 ropes and key, and then continue on to Olmec that way. Now, neither racer got to do that, for very different reasons. But it's a thing to keep in mind for the future races, that it is a possibility, it's a thing that can happen, and it tends to be a pretty quick strategy. Now, Zigouigoui has made his way through 4-1, used a rope, which is fine. He's now on to 4-2. He is very near the end of this race now. It will not be a PB, as you can see from the red numbers on the bottom right. Looks like he's deciding how to deal with those arrow traps. This won't be a PB for him, but it will be a race completion. And a victory over me. Oh, that's unfortunate. He may have to bomb through here. Yeah, that was not going to be a good time. The way to deal with that would have been to go back around and head in from above so he could trigger those safely from up there. But again, it's easier for me as a commentator to say that. It's a lot harder in the race to think of those things on the fly. And there's nothing wrong with not thinking about it, it's just things, and that's totally okay, it happens to all of us. He is now, after taking an arrow, on to 4-2, and into the lava for a swim. Turns out, lava, bad for swimming. So he now resets into 4-1. Camera percent. In an unfortunate location for him, but he's able to get by. This is not an easy 4-1. But he's able to deal with it, triggers the tiki traps, and makes his way through. So he's now on to 4-2 of this final split of this race. Dodging the arrow trap and the thwomp. But down at the end, that was not a fun corridor to deal with. So we are back to the start of 4-1, and it's possible that if Meow had not rage quit, that he would have been able to catch up by now. Because this has been a lot of difficulty with this Olmec split now. But we will never know. In the meantime, Zigouigoui is now on to 4-2 for the 81st time. Taking the direct path to the exit. That was a very nice level for him, so he's on to 4-3 now. 2 health, 3 bombs. I believe he still has all 4 ropes. 3 ropes, my mistake. And it looks like 4-3 also being pretty nice. All he has to do is get the jump right and burn a rope. Or bomb. His choice. But he has to do it quickly because that is a lava man, and he makes it through! That dodge! He decides to go back up and around to save the resources, and he is now on to Olmec for the 2-bomb Olmec fight if he knows it, or he may do safe strats and just go straight down. Safe strats, as we all know, is the most reliable way to kill Olmec in the ASO race. Never goes wrong, always goes perfectly. Looks like he is going to go looking for resources up above. Finding his spot, gonna chuck some ropes. It looks like he wants to bomb down if he can. Going for totally safe strats. But the game not playing nice. So he either is going to stomp all the way down and chuck up a rope for the ending, or he's going to burn some bombs at the end to make it a bit quicker. Looks like he's not going for bombs. Burns his rope. The Olmec kill. But there is some zoo up there to deal with. That going down was his undoing. That bat could have been defeated by jumping and back whipping. But it is not an easy move. Totally fine that he wasn't comfortable doing it. It's unfortunate that he got bopped at the end. But this is Spelunky. Spelunky has been known to happen during Spelunky. So we are back into 4-1 again. Still looking to finish off this race. That mummy proving to be a very bad time. And we are back into 4-1 again, looking to finish off the race. That mummy proving to be a very bad time. And we are back into 4-1, looking to finish this race. That mummy proving to be inconsequential. That Anubis was a very bad time. One looking to finish off this race. That Anubis proving to be inconsequential. That mummy, also inconsequential, and we are through to 4-2. So we're 35 minutes now into this run. Looking for completion. I don't know how Zigouigoui has done in previous round-robin races yet, but that thwomp will be a problem if he tries to go straight down at this point. I recommend against it. He will get legitimately sliced in half. Bombing through, playing it safe. And that is Zigouigoui now onto 4-3 once again. Making his way through all those tiki traps. The Olmec fight. 3 ropes, 3 bombs this time. If he goes looking for bombs up above once more, hopefully he'll be able to find them for a quick Olmec victory. Now, once again, the up above looks devoid of terrain, but there's some on the right. He has an extra rope that he can burn this time to go up there. And he gets to look at crates. More ropes. Lots of crates. One of them is bound to have bombs. He certainly has the ropes required to go looking. And there are his bombs, so he can now do the safe strat Olmec fight, which involves placing some bombs in square pegs. Now, he may be unaware of this, but it's actually safe to stand on that tile that he jumps up to as the bomb goes off, because the blast radius doesn't quite get to it. So we now will hopefully see the end of this race, the end of this run. Olmec goes into the pit, and that is this run, this race in the books. 37 minutes and change, completion for Zigouigoui, meowmixmix. Giving up after the shotgun split was very, very unkind to him. We thank you for watching, we hope you've had a good time. I've been the Demono this whole time. The next race. Ta-ta for now!